they're coming.
Really quick, I just want to chat through, this is one slide you missed. We rely pretty heavily on user-generated content on our channels, especially on our social channels. So we pull photos from partners, businesses, residents, travelers, people that hashtag SWVA. I pull a lot of content from there. So just know if your business, you're posting high quality content and you're tagging us, chances are you're going to get reposted. I'm going to say anything about that. So just really quick on partnerships. Obviously we're all stronger together. Our network is all stronger together as we're promoting Southwest Virginia collectively. So business owners, DHCD, our organization, Virginia Tourism Corporation, Main Street programs, your DMOs, PDCs, CDBs, all your acronyms. And
What's CVB?
It's the tourism office.
Okay.
Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Chambers.
Visitors Bureau.
Visitors Bureau. And you know, I come from the chamber world as well, and one of the analogies I give is, so like, well, I'll join the chamber, and then that means I'm going to get 20,000 people coming to my door next week. Chamber memberships are also, I love chambers, I'm called a chamber man. It's like a gym membership. You can have a gym membership, if you don't go, it's going to be good for you. So I do, if you are members of chamber, networking is important. Go to those after hours, or those breakfasts, or those lunches, or whatever they are. You're paying for that anyway. So it's kind of like having that gym membership. You're not on the treadmill, you're not going to see the results. So I always tell people that, like, okay, why do you want to join the chamber? Because if they don't know about your product, and they don't know about what you do, and your tourism office is that way too, they might not be able to sell you as much. People will come in and say, hey, where can I get this, or who can do this for me? I mean, they get calls all the time, and I can't even emphasize the numbers of just off-the-wall calls they get. So it's every industry and everything. But if you do join those organizations, they're valued. There's some great ones in the area and the region. If you do join those, just remember, you get out of it what you put into it as well. So you need to be aware of that partnership.
And chances are they'll know of lots of opportunities with other businesses and around the region that you can tap into as well.
Great.
Who is that? So we're going to talk now about social media. So we talked about content, we talked about storytelling, so now we're going to dig into some of the outlets for pushing out that content and those stories. So social media, obviously content is fire, but social media is gasoline. Social has been one of our most successful avenues from a Southwest Virginia perspective. You'll see here, these are our numbers. So we're on these channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Snapchat. These are our numbers when we started in June of 2016. And these are our numbers now in February, spelled wrong. But we've had a lot of growth, and I'll be completely honest with you, we haven't spent a lot of money. These numbers are really reflective of us having an audience that's craving the content that's coming from this region. We haven't spent a lot of money, and we really are telling stories that everyone kind of knew about but almost forgot. So it's really just about approaching people on the right channel with content that they want to see.
Do you want to talk about a Facebook page if you're a new business and you're thinking about opening a business, and you don't have your social media, for example, with Facebook? Do you want to talk about how you can have your Facebook page ready? Because let's say we have opening day. Well, the last thing you're going to have time to do is fill out your Facebook page, and someone has it, that name, and I can get my URL and what's my about. You have so many things that you do need to have in advance. Talk a little bit about how you can do that beforehand and hide it.
Yeah, so Facebook, you can actually build out your page and it be hidden to users. We actually have secretly launched a Facebook page for our organization, the Friends of Southwest Virginia. So we're secretly posting content onto the platform, and granted it's not getting engagement right now because we don't have a lot of followers, but at least when we officially launch it, there will be content on there. So when people are coming and liking the page, they're seeing content that's been reflective of the past couple of months.
You'll have your profile photo, you'll have your all the things will be on there, how to get a hold of you. Because one of those things is, okay, this is I've seen it happen where like today's our opening day, we don't have our Facebook page up.
Why don't you have your Facebook page up first?
In advance. Absolutely. Build that strategy now to get that energy going. Absolutely. In your business, absolutely, because that is something that you want to build that energy. One of the longest strategies I've ever seen for an event was the Battle of Bristol.
Yes.
It was almost 4 years, and it would work. I mean, things sold out as quick as it could go, and that was up for a long time. That is a big idea of that. But you know what? The birthplace of country music museum was up a long time before it was open. That was a 13-year project. People may not realize. But they had some, once they had the boots on the ground and ready to run, they were ready to run. Exactly right. But there are cases where you may not want your page up if you're creating an immediate service or you're 6 months out for a service that's not retail or not in public eye. You know, there are cases where you don't want to have your hospital page up.
Right.
If you don't have a hospital. So.
And you think to also consider, like if it's a brand new Facebook page, not inviting your entire friend network until you have, okay, what's my about, what's my phone number, what's my email address, what does this business even consist of, what's the description, what's our logo. So that way when you do invite those people, they're seeing it firsthand, oh awesome, and it's opening in 2 weeks. You know, make sure to check it out. And with our Facebook page, we had a little bit of a following when we first started, 3,500 people, but we weren't really engaging with those people. So make sure that when you do launch that page that you're ready to like and comment and reply and engage with those users, because that in turn gets them excited about what your business is.
And there's another reason about liking and engaging those folks, even if they, we do the social media, for example, for Bristol Rhythm and Roots. Over the course of 3 days, a team of 4 or 5 of us respond or like 40,000 comments during the weekend. There's times where I'm just doing this, I'm liking everything. Why do I do that? Because we're now going to show up more in the algorithm on Facebook. Because now you've created an engagement with them. They commented, you liked it back. You're best friends. I mean, that's how Facebook will read that. So when someone says, oh, this was the best cell phone I've ever bought. I didn't even turn that on. But you like that. Or say, thank you, we appreciate your business, whatever. Because that engagement, you're going to show up more in future posts in their thread. So liking is huge in Facebook, in all of them actually.
I'll say in all of social media, and each social channel, we'll get into this a little bit more in previous slides, but Twitter obviously is a little bit different in that you can favorite, or you can retweet, or you can respond, or you can reply. So there will be tweets that are relevant to us that I may retweet, or I may add a little something extra if it's informative for what the retweet actually is, or there's some posts that I just favorite. And then there's some posts where maybe somebody has a question, so I'll respond, as opposed to retweeting whatever their comment actually was. Instagram, similar. You can like a post, you can comment. I joke with Matt and the team sometimes, like, I will literally like lay in bed at night and search hashtag SWVA and I go in and like, this picture is awesome, because I mean with the Southeast Virginia channel, a lot of people just didn't know that we existed. So, and they still, I mean, it's still fairly undiscovered. So the fact that someone is hashtagging SWVA, like they understand, they know the brand from somewhere. So they're posting a photo, they're hashtagging SWVA. They may not have tagged us, so I may not have saw it. But the fact that I comment on, they then know that we exist. Oh, okay, well I'm going to go follow them because they took the time. It conveys that feeling for a visitor or for a user. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's a big thing with social media right now. Right, and especially with the Facebook algorithms.
Okay.
Where they change it, and like I know, my cousin, she does similar thing in Georgia. And she's thinking market expand with her product back to people and doing that. And it's been really tricky, especially with
To identify the spammers out, yeah, you have to weed that out. I mean, it is something that you keep on, and it's not crazy. I mean, we talk about rooms. I said there's 40,000. Okay, that's an anomaly. That's 3 days of the year, so it's not like that year round, clearly. But when you're also, when you mention that relationship engagement, sometimes you are the face of your business, and be aware of the content that you're posting is very appropriate, because you can offend some of your group. I mean, we all talk about, growing up, my parents said, we're not going to talk about drinking, smoking, or politics, or whatever. There's a lot of things we could talk about. But, there was a lot of things you're not supposed to, and there's reasons. Because backlash stories, who reads backlash stories online? Best things ever to read. You all know what I'm talking about, backlash stories. You don't want to have a backlash story. And it can happen. It truly can happen. There was one that happened here around the area with a campground of Pokemon Go. And the person said that these people had jobs. Well, one of them was the CEO of the largest attraction, is the son of the largest attraction in Tennessee. If you think real hard, East Tennessee was the largest attraction. And he said these people had jobs. And I would say that is the largest attraction in East Tennessee. If you think real hard what that amusement park might be, you wouldn't want to say that, because it destroyed and had to have a public apology of labeling this group. Because what they were doing is they were playing their little game around their business, and they just didn't like it. And we get that. Birthplace Country Music Museum, there was a lady who's like, if I have to clean the fingerprints off the window one more time, I think I'm going to scream. The director of the museum's like, we want that. I know it sounds crazy, we want that. One, it keeps our windows clean. And two, we're going to embrace that. So she put on a Pikachu, if y'all know, don't ask me how I know these, I have nephews. A Pikachu outfit, which is the yellow looking character. It has a little pointy tail. And they go run around the corner. And the lady who called them, she has a little boy who is special needs and loves Pokemon Go, and that's one of the things that they can actively engage in when she's not working. She works for the sheriff's department. And she said that made his day, because it was like seeing Santa. And I know that sounds crazy, but that engagement of how many people she told over something as silly as running around in a $50 outfit. I'm not saying we're going to run around in an outfit, but those are things of engaging your customers. It's really, 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 you can have those hero moments, and you don't even realize you're doing them until afterwards. But you can do those in your business. Every day, those hero moments. And it's not to do it on purpose so you get PR exposure. It's to happen naturally. It's the golden rule kind of thing. And karma, I'm a big believer in karma. And I know I digressed a little bit, but it does tie into social media, because that's how our stories are getting out. I mean, social media, there's more people going through the sites, through social, than Google in most cases. And that's crazy to think about that. And the view, it's incredible the power of it.
And I will say too, YouTube and Snapchat are probably our least populated channels right now, just because of the size of our staff, and we're just trying to fill them out, whether they make sense for our business or not. But with Instagram and Facebook, obviously you have a great live component. I joke with some of my friends. We got hooked, and I can't remember now what the platform is, but there's some. It's not National Geographic, but there's somebody who does all these live streams of like animals in their natural habitat. And they would pull it up at work and just like watch these puppies like hanging out in the room and like have it in a second screen. So thinking about content that in turn goes viral, or telling those stories as they're happening, those live experiences, often I feel like we take for granted. When I didn't live here, coming back to Southwest Virginia, I just had almost forgotten what a unique, authentic experience it is living here. And some of the things that, sometimes we have blinders on, like we don't all the time appreciate that, we get to see this amazing sunset or sunrise every day in the mountains and the rivers, and not everybody gets to experience that. So helping to tell that story to people who don't live here is really powerful. It can make people want to come visit and spend money in all your businesses.
And renovate homes, open businesses. And we have a cost of living that's great. And we have a crime rate that is not like it is in other cities. I feel very safe walking back down to the hotel where we were at. We actually drove because it was cold. But if I had to walk, I wouldn't feel bad at all. But I wouldn't walk that far in a lot of major cities, I'll tell you that.
Do y'all ever boost your Facebook page, or have you ever done it?
We did, yes. Initially, for the first year that we were at it, we really just did campaigns that were promoted, that were based on building our followers. So we weren't really, our website was in an interesting place, so we weren't driving a whole lot of people back to the website, so we didn't boost a lot of posts, because that's really, you know, the main reason for boosting posts is to send people to a destination. So we did a lot of just engagement and brand recognition, and, you know, we wanted to build our following as much as possible, so that then when we have the website in a good place, then we have a much larger group to
How
target.
far out did you reach as far as the radius?
A lot of times, going back to that original slide, we spent a lot of our campaigns specifically in Southwest Virginia, because a lot of people just in the region didn't know that we existed. Larger Commonwealth, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, just kind of those surrounding states. Yeah.
But your strategy might be 25 miles, might be 15 miles.
Well, for me, it was
Wherever, yeah, you might hit pockets in an event. You know, you might focus on events and pushing out that event.
yeah, we did
And
not
boosting
do
that.
last year. We did a boost on it. We got a lot of hits on it.
You get a lot to it. The thing is with your boost is to have all that content, whatever you boost, if it's an event, make sure all your content's on there. They're not going to click that many times. So yeah, it does work. It keeps you up quick. And it doesn't have to be $1,000. It can be $15, $25, $50. It doesn't have to be, don't think it's high
I
dollars.
think I spent 10, 15.
Exactly.
It's not big.
Exactly. And there's ways, I mean, some of these go off from.
And it'll stay on there for a while too. I think every.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we can use it there.
You can say your time frame.
That's it. Thank you for sharing that. It's very important, because some people think, oh, I have to spend hundreds of dollars. You do not.
Yeah.
In social, that's why we spend a little emphasis on this, because you can get a lot of exposure, a lot of reach.
And just an additional nugget about Facebook and the way that the algorithms are changing. So we're going to put a lot more weight this year, as opposed to spins, in having brand ambassadors and travel writers and people in the region that tell our stories through their channels. Because basically the way that Facebook is shifting, it's that you're going to see content from your friends or your family or your community, and it's going to be less branded content. So just think through ways that you all could come together as a community to help to tell each other's stories. And then, you know, rising tide floats all ships. St. Paul is, you know, a better place.
So a lot of that change in the algorithm has to do with businesses as opposed to personal pages as well.
Correct.
I think I see it affecting the mainstream page
Yeah.
instead of my personal.
But there might be ways to partner in a group. In your post, you all might boost something that you, Western Front, and different entities are there together, and your all's reach together moves you up. I mean, there are ways to do that, absolutely. But, and it does make it frustrating, but that's why we have to pivot. Because then it's just, we're going to use that word forever. That's the word that we tell Suzanne. She has got the corner on this, because a marketing plan, whatever you come up with your marketing plan, it's like, okay, if my budget's $500, I need to move the needle this far. So what am I going to do to make it? Is it a newspaper ad? Is it social media boosting? Whatever is going to try to get you those people, and then looking at those results, and if it worked, keep feeding that well that's working for you. Have we created back strategies and campaigns? Absolutely. Absolutely, we all will, and it's just, it could be the message, it could be the look, or we could have just had bad luck and bad weather, because that happens too. That's the reality of the world we live in. But do have that strategy, because the strategy of I'm going to spend $500 and I'm going to make $5,000. You have to connect the dots to get to that $5,000. It's by spending that $500. You have to do that. If it doesn't make sense, do not do it. Hold those dollars until you know what your strategy and goal is.
Something that I saw that a lady did, she had like a boutique and she just opened it online. And she had told each one of her followers to invite 20 people and comment that you invited 20 people or more,
Mhm.
and your name was being drawn. And she got hits just like that. It is the quickest thing that I've seen for people to join.
I've been on a Facebook rant about that. I have been added in so many groups lately, and not so many just like random people messaging me, like no relationship whatsoever. And I'm like, at least say hi to me first.
But yeah, there is something for the fact that, you mentioned about tagging people.
Yeah.
About 40 minutes ago, when I was sitting here, I posted a contest on my real estate page that said, hey guys, this hotel just opened this great restaurant. Tag your favorite lunch day, and I'm going to draw for a winner.
Yep.
And in 40 minutes, I've gotten 300 hits and I think 27 comments.
There you go. I'll tell you,
And
there
that's
are
because
times.
I tagged Southwest, I tagged Town of St. Paul, Milton's, and West Oak.
There's a, and I'll tell you, we were working with Kingsport, and I'll just tell you, we were going to boost out their Valentine's promotion. It was a tag your BFF for a dinner. And it was one of Kingsport and some chocolates and it was a little package. It was a really cool package for 2 people. Just tag your BFF. We were going to boost that content, but in 3 hours, when they had over 1,000 comments and 280 shares, let's not spend the money there. It has way done what it needed to do. Let's spend that money someplace else. So be fluid on that and keep those dollars for something else that you need to promote later. I don't know, with St. Patty's Day BFF, whatever, but they were doing, post a photo of you and your BFF and you'll be entered to win. And I mean, those do work. It will raise up, but you also need to like all of that so that they'll show back up in your engagements. Because if not, it'll go away. It was a one-off.
So it's okay to like your own post?
Like, we do all your comments on your own.
To like comments on your own page.
Yeah, and to like your own post, does that make any difference? Because I saw someone told me that Main Street, don't like your own Main Street postings because that's just.
I don't know if that has any weight or not.
I don't think it's bad. It's not bad to do.
I don't know
In
that it
any
helps
way,
either.
but I don't think it moves you up because you're still the same
Yeah.
entity. I could look that up. That's a great
I think
question.
they meant it.
It's not bad etiquette.
I think that was what they were for.
And just one quick comment too, don't get, I feel like oftentimes people get wrapped up in likes. Don't
Yes.
feel like page likes.
Mhm.
You know, don't feel like, oh, if I don't have 25,000 people liking my Facebook page, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, there's ways to reach people in all forms of social media without, having this extra large number of followers, right? Like there's ways to boost posts, there's ways to promote your page and very well the way that Facebook is shifting and changing their algorithms, that number could really be for naught at this point, depending on how they shift.
Potentially. Just a quick question.
Yeah.
On Facebook, now, of course, you have to tie your business account to a personal account. When I first used it, you didn't have to do that a few years ago. But like when I put it on Julie's account, and now it's hard to keep up who's talking to who. Because you've got personal and your business accounts tied together, and you're getting, you invite friends,
And I'm saying, did you add them?
and so is there a way around that? I mean, is there any way around it?
You go ahead.
That's interesting. I'll wait, you can weigh in. So our Southwest Virginia Facebook page, we have several members of our team who are admins on the page. Facebook is very sneaky because it knows when you like certain comments and what the trend is. So even though personally I like High Road Agency and I like St. Paul Main Street and I like Western Front, if I like those pages from my personal account, it in turn will come up with a little drop-down menu that has all of the pages that I'm an admin on.
Yeah.
But if I like one of Kathy's posts from Southwest Virginia's standpoint, it then knows, Facebook knows the next time that she posts that chances are I'm gonna like it from Southwest Virginia. Do you want to weigh in on that?
I have seen, I will tell you, I'll answer that in a way, it's hard to get around, but I will caution you on this. There are some people that will create a fake person name so they can just communicate and have that business. Let me tell you the bad on that. Have you ever had where Facebook's like, I need to see your picture, I'm not going to save your picture, but you have to send them your picture, and you have to wait up to 6 days for them to validate your account because it's been flagged as fake. You don't want that. You can't access your page. So I would encourage people not to do that, because then you have to find a photo that if you get locked out again, you have to use that same photo. They don't save it, but you have to use that same photo, so think about that. It's their program, they can do what they want with it. But we've had people that have been locked out of their account up to 30 days by using a fake name. So if you were like Jerry Trending, you made that name Jerry Trending, you have no friends, it's just to log into your business page or to be an admin. If you get locked out of Jerry Trending, getting someone on the phone on Facebook ain't gonna happen. Let's just be real. There are people, I think it's a secret code. I've met one Facebook employee in 25 years. And I remember being at Virginia Tourism at a big national conference, and they introduced that this is a real person that works at Facebook, and it's not Zuckerberg. So, and everyone just clapped, and they did a fake standing ovation because it was kind of a joke. But think about it. You can't call Facebook. You could submit the form and wait. And that's just how it works. So, I mean, it's not the best strategy. There are some apps, some third-party apps that you can use, Messenger, that you can transfer between your accounts. And we work with about 90 social accounts because, believe me, I know. I mean, I have posted a family photo on someone else's car lot before. I didn't mean to, but I've done it. I mean, you have to be careful, but it's just how Facebook is, because they're trying to keep dead pages from occurring, and that was what was occurring, was these quote fake people accounts, and then they have all these dead pages that exist out there, and then I was like, well, that's not their business, it's my business, I want to claim it. Well, Facebook doesn't know that, so everyone gets put on hold. Basically, what happens?
Well, the other side of that is trying to get off of it.
It is, yeah. It's kind of when the doctor puts you on a pill. This pill will kill you,
It's hard to hang.
but you're not going to live if you ain't on it. So, I love those pills. I love those pills, you know. Here's your heartburn pill. It's going to be bad for you in 20 years, but you need it now.
Living right now.
You know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
if you do have a smartphone, the Facebook Pages Manager app is very good
Manager,
with helping to know.
That is acceptable.
Like you,
Yeah.
you know, we have, between our organization, I mean, we don't have 90, but we have
Yeah.
5 or 6, and it even sorts like what the notifications are, what pages they're coming from. You can see the physical page in the app itself that you're working on, so all the content is relative. So when you're responding, it's responding as your page.
I do that because I've got access to several pages, and I can respond in whichever form I want to be. But you have to pay.
It should be like a tab. Is it?
Yes, it's a little tab, but you can, yeah.
Sprout Social is another one that can help you schedule content. Some of these are free, of course. Sprout Social, you can schedule your content. So if you're going to go on vacation for a week, or you have a family thing that you know is coming up because someone's getting married, and you know that whole week you're not going to get to do anything, you can schedule out your photos and content already in advance, so you don't go a week without anything going on. You can do that per month if you want. I mean, there's people that will do that throughout the year.
You can do that with the Facebook Pages out now.
Yeah, you can. It's pretty straightforward too. It's not complicated.
But I will caution not to set it and forget it.
Yeah.
You want to be mindful of people commenting and responding. You want to be in the now. You know, I think there's a few days you can have a grace period, but want to make sure that you're not just forgetting about the page for a month, because you may have people actually
Yeah, I
asking
didn't
questions.
mean that. Don't say I said
I was
it.
trying to imagine.
I did my posts for all of 2018. I'm good. Yes,
some of the Facebook ads that we've run in the past. So high quality photos, reflective of our brand, something that someone can be scrolling through their feed and say, oh, you know, I can picture myself camping there, I can picture myself on a bike there. So just unique experiences thinking through in your ad campaigns. So this is our social following. Really what we try to do from a Southwest Virginia standpoint is growing our following, driving people back to the website, ultimately supporting communities and businesses, telling their stories, and then engaging and cross-promoting. And we've talked about some of this, but this is the Southwest Virginia Facebook page today. I think I took that screenshot today. So this is our profile page for SWVA. You'll see that SWVA logo that we were talking about earlier. So we have a cover photo reflective of what's going on at this point in time. So I think we put this one up maybe a month or so ago. So cool photos, snowy weather. You know, we don't necessarily think that snowy weather is a bad thing. Visitors don't get to see that kind of experience all the time. So cool photo, profile pic about us. You'll see here, these aren't super clear, but Facebook tabs. Does anybody have a Facebook page that they use tabs? No? Okay. So these are not accessible on the mobile app, but when you go to your Facebook page on a desktop, you'll see here that we have home, about, photos. I can't read that one. This one says hashtag SWVA. So if you log on to our Facebook page on a desktop, you click on hashtag SWVA on the left-hand side, it goes to our Instagram feed. So just a way to connect those channels together. I'm actually, maybe I'll just show this to you all in real time.
In real time. We want to see your password so we can log in.
I think I'm already logged in. I was reading an article about emergency funds earlier. No, it's not gonna work. So if you all go,
But imagine it looked really good.
we should have pulled it up in
Yeah.
advance.
Yeah.
So if you all log back on later, you'll see that it's cool because it's a way to integrate your other social channels. If you do choose to have Instagram or Twitter, we actually have our Twitter on here too, just under this. There's also a join my list. So if people want more information about Southwest Virginia, they can click on that tab. They can select boxes for what they're interested in. So if it's music, arts, craft, outdoor rec, food, beer, that their email address connected to Facebook then goes into our database for wanting to learn more information. So just other ways to tie in your marketing programs together. Events, Facebook also has a really cool thing, just thinking through how you all can support each other. One of our initiatives is the Southwest Virginia Mountain Brew Trail. So we have a Facebook page for the Brew Trail. That's the only social channel that we have. But we go onto all the breweries' page and add their events to our Facebook page. So it's just another way to support the breweries and things that they have going on, upcoming, and help to promote them. So really, what's the strategy and purpose behind Facebook? Customer service, building those relationships that we talked about earlier, inspiring people to come and spend money in your businesses, special offers, sales, giveaways, brand exposure, driving traffic, all important things to consider. We talked about this a little bit already, monitoring the comments, liking, replying, Facebook ads, what are your goals, boosting posts, targeting certain people, promoting your website. Instagram, we went over this too, starting with clear goals, choosing themes to tell that cohesive story, so taking time to really create that high quality content. Those smartphones that are in existence today are just as good as a high quality, not as good, but the camera is really, Apple and Google have really stepped up their game. So the camera on an iPhone is really high quality, so just making sure that Those are all high quality photos. Hashtagging, just talk about this a little bit. So what is a hashtag? A hashtag is a type of tag used on social media which makes it easy to find content with a specific page. Your business may have, the Dewdrop In might have a hashtag on its own, so that users can then use that hashtag and interact with each other on that. And then really quickly, PR. So we talked a little bit about this already, but press releases. I think in Southwest Virginia we don't celebrate our wins near enough. So anything great that you all have going on with your business, making sure that you're sending press releases, getting those earned media opportunities, engaging with the media, making sure that they know who you are, attending events that they would be at, to really help them to understand who your business is and the things that you all have going on. And then also being a community partner. Word of mouth, obviously you all probably know this, how important word of mouth is. We talked about how social media can really set a destination on fire, but word of mouth can too, because it's really important how people experience your business and whether they drive people back to you. Good customer service encourages word of mouth. It helps with repeat visitation, can be a low-cost way to increase profits, and if done in a right, fun way, can boost employee morale and satisfaction. So two really quickly things between email and database. We've talked about this a little bit. So all of these channels considered, if email is not right for your business, don't feel like you need to do it. I know that I've unsubscribed from many an email through the past 10 years or so. So make sure you choose the channels that are right for your business. But gaining those database usernames, gaining those email addresses is really important to be able to effectively market to your consumer. And then finally, website. How many people already have a website in place?
And that can also, if you use, some people use Facebook as their website.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great strategy. I mean, it depends on the industry, and absolutely.
So with our website, just a quick overview, the current website is being redesigned, but it's basically a connection between several different organizations. So just making sure whatever content that you push on your website is accurate, that it's up to date, and that it makes sense, and the user is understanding what information they're looking to find. So for our new website, just really quickly, I want to hit on the goals for our new consumer website. So we're actually putting much more of an emphasis on content moving forward. So blogs, itineraries, photos, videos are all going to be super important to us moving forward. Continuing to connect those dots between our other marketing initiatives. So having a social media integration, having a search functionality to where people can actually type in what they're looking for. If they want to go hiking, they can type in hiking, they'll get content appropriately, and then tying in our newsletter, and then having that easily accessible across all devices. Because we know that 65% of the people that come to our website are accessing it on a mobile device. And then finally, tracking. So how will you measure your marketing performance? Like Suzanne was talking earlier, this could be Google Analytics, it could be surveying people that come in the doors, where are they coming from, how did you hear about us?
If you have a website, if you have a traditional website, Google Analytics, you can set that up free. There's actually 2 to 3 minute videos on there. Mm-hmm. So it's really simple on how to set that up, but it'll show you where people are coming from. Facebook has it ingrained already, so that their own analytics is already inside it. So if that's your website, that's a great way of looking at it. And I will say that when we started doing boosting, we were doing it wrong. I'll be the first to say that. We were boosting and we were like, the world. And that's not great because we were huge over in Denmark. And that's great. We didn't really have a great Denmark response to all of our hotels when we looked. So the reason is we narrow that back down. It's not to exclude anyone from coming from Denmark. We love Denmark. But we're gonna focus on boosting and spending money, we're gonna hit North Carolina, we're gonna hit the Asheville area, the Nashville area, that's what we're gonna go after. 'Cause that's what we need to have staying in our cities when I look at Bristol. So be aware of that, because if Jenna's gonna choose between Tucson, Arizona and Lexington, Kentucky, she's taking Lexington 20 times down. And it may be you're looking at your 20 miles, 25 miles is where you need to be, and not Blacksburg. You might not have people that need your services in Blacksburg, or it's a market that's oversaturated. I mean, there's that as well. You know, you don't want to be. Sometimes you want to be the best fish you can in the pond. And, you know, sometimes when you go from the creek to South Holtzman, that's a little overwhelming.
And you think too, this just came to me when we were talking, creative ways to get that information. Thinking through like your point of sale systems, like people run a credit card, you have all of that information.
She totally captured all of you right
Yeah.
now.
And it's sneaky
$1
like-
to $3, $1 to $3 right there.
Mhm.
She just did that. That was so smart. And I know that's a simple way of looking at that, but you know, if it's someone coming in and, you know, I'm going to send you a survey. Can I send you a survey about how we did? It's anonymous. It's through SurveyMonkey, but I need your email.
Mm-hmm.
And it is anonymous through SurveyMonkey when you send them that survey, but you still have an email. So if they give it to you, you can use it. And I would encourage you not to email weekly.
Yeah.
That does bother people. Be aware of your audience when you do communicate with them, because you don't want them to unfollow you. Because once they unfollow you or say remove me, the statistics are very, very clear in the 90% above that will never go back and subscribe back into your service once they unsubscribe. It's very high.
And a lot of emails that I don't know about you, but a lot of emails that I get are based on loyalty programs. So
Yeah.
I will have gone to a business, let's say I bought a donut, and I swiped my card, and I paid for my donut and coffee, and they asked me if they could have my phone number and email address, and I said yes, and they told me I get 10% off my next purchase.
A great one that works in a lot of industries is, you know, you're going to get that free coffee. If you give me your email on your birthday, you're going to get an email wishing you happy birthday with free coffee. Thanks, Starbucks. I mean, I did that recently,
And now I have the mobile app, and
I know exactly.
they have all my information.
For very expensive coffee. Very expensive coffee.
So finally, what are your resources? What's your budget, your employee skills, friends, family, partnerships, local, state, federal assistance, your Main Street program, chambers, all of those things are us, my organization, we're all a resource for you all. And marketing plans change. Don't feel like you can't pivot and move in a different direction because of business growth or research or economic factors, technology, social media changing. You can always call Matt and myself and we'll update you on the trends.
And it can change quickly. Facebook, we talked about their analytics changing. A great example of advertising was the Speedway. They used to spend $0 on advertising and sold out that track over 54 times in a row. Then the economy crashed and some of their heroes left, like Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace and Darrell Waltrip and the icons. Now they spend a lot of money to advertise people to get that consumer database, that consumer back into the track, because it's changed. The other thing that's killed them, the big TVs. Everyone has one, practically. I mean, that's killed the sport, not just racing, a lot of sporting venues, from football games to anything there is. So you are going to have to pivot. And they were an example of, I mean, you know, in 2000, I don't know those of you who knew NASCAR racing, you're not going to get a ticket. There was a waiting list of 50,000 people for that ticket. And now there's strategies of marketing to millennials, because what happened? Their database retired. You know, my parents cannot physically travel anymore. Their tickets are gone. They gave those up. They can't physically go anymore. So that was their market, and so they have now strategies that are completely different. They are pivoting, and they've done the biggest pivot you could ever imagine. They turned it into a football game. So, I mean, you can't get a bigger pivot than that. If you had told me in 2000 there's really going to be a football game at Bristol School, I'd be like, you are crazy. I've heard that rumor for 50 years. It's just like the Red Lobster that actually did come. That was coming for 25 years to Exit 7 in Bristol. It did come eventually. But we had to pay them to come. I won't go into that. But, you know, those are the things you would never have thought that would happen. But it happened, and it happened in about 2 years on one of the strongest brands that was out there. So I'm not saying that to scare you at all. I'm just saying that your strategy just needs to match your target audience. And it doesn't have to be a multi-million-dollar campaign. It doesn't even have to be a $10,000 campaign in all cases. It doesn't have to be.
I think that's it.
Sorry.
So, we have about 10 minutes left. If anybody has any questions, or I can stick around for a little bit. And, you have our business cards, so please don't hesitate to email us. We'd love to be supportive of you all in this process. And, any Michelle? We covered everything you wanted to know.
We know we covered a lot.
We did give you a lot, yeah.
It's very good though. Well, thank you all very much. If you do think of any questions, you can email them directly or send the question to me. And we certainly thank them for coming today to share their expertise on marketing rates, and there'll be a lot of good information for all of us, especially on your plans you're working on. So next week is our last class before the pitch. So next week we're going to really go through that step by step, make sure people understand what each part is. We'll work on the business plan a little more in detail next week and go through all of those things and really hash through those and make sure we've got all your questions answered and everyone understands what they need to be doing. And I'll send you some more accesses for ideas. There's some videos. Washington County has some great lunchtime videos, and their business challenges going on now, and they've been on Facebook Live, so I'm going to send you that access so you can look at some of the other presenters that they've had as well. So,
When is our business plan?
the business plan, the written part will be due March the 6th, so we'll have the pitch, and then the next week, you will have to have it emailed to me by March the 6th, so you'll have an extra week after the pitch to work on your plan. And then the presentation of awards and prize money will be March the 27th. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, and thank you, Cindy, for bringing the dessert again tonight. And our big sponsor was Fat Boys tonight, so that was great. Thank you.